to go here. Okay. Looks like we are good to go. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Will Johnson. The website is uniteamericafirst.com. Please go subscribe. Sign up for the newsletter on my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Please subscribe. Follow. Share this video. I have some stuff that I want to share with you tonight. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's going to be an interesting one here. All right. Let me make sure we got everything going here. Just gonna just check, do some checking here real quick. Okay. It looks like we are good. Yep, awesome. All right. Yep, we are good. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. You know, as usual, I have some stuff that I want to share with you. I really do. And I'm pretty sure you looked at the title of this video. And you know what? So I was floating this idea around. And I was just kind of like playing, you know, making fun of it. Not even, you know, not being serious at all. And you can look at the title, what I'm talking about. You know, they're floating the idea of Fetterman running for president, you know, 2024. They're floating the idea. And I was saying, and I was kidding around. I said, can you imagine? Because they're already talking about getting somebody running against Joe Biden, a Democrat running against Joe Biden, because it's that bad. It's really that bad. And a lot of people are like, no, why would they do that? Right? Why in the world would they try to get somebody to run against Biden? Right? Because to my understanding, the Democrats didn't get anybody to run against Jimmy Carter. Right? He was president. They didn't get anyone. They didn't get anybody. The Democrats didn't get anybody to run against Bill Clinton. Right? Think about it. They didn't get anybody to run against Obama. But they're floating the idea of getting somebody to run against Joe Biden now. And I'm like, this is really peculiar, right? Let me see. Let me share this video with you because I thought it was really interesting. The whole idea that they would even talk about getting somebody and floating the idea of, you know, against Biden. Where's it at? Let me see if I have it here. Okay, yep, here it is. All right, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this clip for you because I want to show you proof. I want to show you something because I was floating this idea about, you know, Fetterman running against Joe Biden when they first brought it up. I'm like, wow, this is interesting, and they didn't even bring it up. I just made it up. I was just joking. I was kidding. I was truly kidding, but I see the writing on the wall. I pay attention to these people and I'm like, you know what? I can see them trying to run Fetterman. I can see them running Fetterman for president because can y'all imagine? And when I was joking, I said, can y'all imagine Fetterman and Biden on the stage and they're trying to have a debate against each other? It would be, you know, look, I'm not making fun of Fetterman because he had a stroke. I have family members in the past that have had a stroke and it's pretty devastating. So I'm not talking about that, but he was saying stupid stuff before that. But now he's really having, you know, mental issues. And can you imagine them? And Joe Biden has mental issues, right? You know, it's suspected that Joe Brandon has Alzheimer's or he has a mental disorder. You know, he's dementia. So can you imagine both of them on stage trying to debate and then they get a question, they receive a question. And then I guess both of them like, what was the question again? It would be really interesting. But let me share this with you because I thought this was really interesting about them talking about, you know, somebody running against Biden. Because again, Obama, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't. I know they didn't for Obama and Bill Clinton. I was too young to remember Jimmy Carter, but I don't think they've ever floated anybody during a primary, during the middle here. And, you know, Joe Biden, he's like energized now. Yeah, I'm going to run 2024. But the Democrats are going to find another Democrat to run against Joe Biden. How does that work? Listen to this.
Why? You have to ask somebody else. I mean, I think he's doing a great job. I'm a kind of a Biden guy. I like what he's doing. We have seen a lot of emerging new stars in the Democratic Party in this election.
The question, why wouldn't he, is because of the toil of the campaign. And we have to remember that in 2020, Joe Biden won an abbreviated campaign because of COVID. And so he wasn't in every diner in Iowa. He didn't have to go to every SEC Tuesday state. I mean, the campaign is a monster in itself. And the question, I'm not saying that he can't do it. The question he has to answer is, does he want to go through that and go through, primary debates? Because he's going to be primary. That's a.
You hear that? He's going to be primaried. They're already put it out there. He's going to be primaried. And listen to this.
Fact. We're new age Democrats. Now, I'm going to support him in that primary, but he's going to be.
He's going to get primaried?
Of course.
By a serious candidate?
Did Hillary Clinton get primaried?
Hillary Clinton was never in the White House. Thank God. Right? She was never in the White House. And they're going to bring up, was Hillary Clinton primary? No, Hillary Clinton was never in the White House. This is about somebody already in the White House. People, stay up to speed.
Candidate?
Did Hillary Clinton get primary?
Hillary
she wasn't incumbent.
It doesn't even matter if the candidate is serious or not.
Barack Obama didn't get primary. Bill Clinton didn't get primary.
There's going to be somebody. This is not Bill Clinton or Barack Obama's Democratic Party anymore. I wish it was.
You hear this? This is not Bill Clinton or Obama's Democrat Party anymore. He's sitting here acknowledging that Joe Biden is the worst candidate, worst person to ever be in the White House. He's acknowledging. That's exactly what he's saying there.
Obama's Democratic Party anymore. I wish it was. There are a lot of us who are going to support Joe Biden. Let's be extremely clear.
But who would primary him?
I feel firm in the belief that he'll get primaried from the left. There'll be somebody from the left who says that he did not.
Maybe a more progressive.
And the problem is you have to deal with that. You have to deal with that in a Democratic primary. You have to run the race. You have to do the debates. And that takes a toll on you, to bring up my larger thing.
Okay, so you heard that one, right? You heard that. So now let me get to this other one here. And I got them all out of order here. Where is it at? Okay, here it is. Now, Fetterman, they're actually floating the idea of Fetterman being president. You can't make it up. Now, I was kidding when I said it yesterday, and I was saying it today. I said it on my podcast, and I said it on Lindell TV, and I was just kidding. Fetterman, but no. I'm onto something here. I'm onto something. And look at the expression on Jen Psaki's face. Look at the expression on her face with the whole thing. And you know what? It's all lunacy. And none of them are going to go like, oh, yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that because he's having too many issues. But listen to this.
As a nominee at some point for president, I know there's some variables, obviously. Just a few. But
I know there's some variables, obviously. But they're actually floating the idea.
Fetterman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously. Just a few. But what he did in the super red, deep red parts of Pennsylvania, and the way that he ran ahead of Biden, as you were saying, ran ahead of Trump. I mean, it just makes you wonder about his future.
And see, people were calling me crazy for even kidding around talking about it. They were calling me crazy for even kidding around talking about it. And now they're actually floating the idea of Fetterman being president. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make it up. You might as well go ahead and get a weekend at Bernie's. You know what I'm talking about? Where Bernie, he was dead and they were still kind of keep him alive, walking around. It's the same thing. They don't care. They will have a dead person, long as the person that's in the White House is a demon crap. They don't care. They're dead or alive, brain dead or not. Long as that person's a Democrat in the White House, they're perfectly fine with it. This is highly disturbing, right? It is highly disturbing because this is the society we're living in right now. I mean, Arizona's still jacked up and they want you to wait days and days. Last time I heard, they're sitting on about 500,000 votes. And for some reason, they can't count them. It doesn't make any sense. What are they doing in there? Now they like, well, I don't know if I want to count that one yet. I don't know. Well, nope, don't count that one yet. This one's, Hobbs. Okay, you can count that. I don't know if I want to count that one. Hobbs. Okay. I don't know. What are they doing in there? How long does it take to count 100 of them? How long does it take for one person to count 100 of them, or even 1,000 of them? I mean, I'm pretty sure I can count 1,000 of them within an hour. And if you have 20 people, how many can they do in an hour? 20,000 in 1 hour? So you're talking about 500,000. I mean, seriously, I'm pretty sure they have more people than that. But come on, people. And see, you can't question any of this stuff. You can't question it, because then if you question it, then something's wrong with you. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't. You're supposed to trust the plan. Trust the plan, right? Trust the plan. Yeah. How does that work out? Anyways, the left, they're you know what? The whole thing about them wanting to distance themselves from Biden, even though what just happened, they're still wanting to distance themselves from Biden. Listen to what Joe Biden says here when he talks about the global agenda, right? Because I think I played this one last night, where a reporter asked him, do you think you're going to stop with this whole destruction of America? And I'm paraphrasing here. And he basically says no. Listen.
What in the next 2 years do you intend to do differently to change people's opinion of the direction of the country, particularly as you contemplate a run for president in 2024?
Nothing. He straight up says nothing. He's not going to change anything. The direction of the country, we're already getting ready. And for some reason, the liberal mainstream media is not talking about it. I know Tucker talked about it. But the country appears to be that we're about to run completely out of diesel fuel. That means ambulance, fire trucks, military personnel. That means diesel. Means 18-wheelers that carry food, produce. I mean, it's going to be countless vehicles that we all depend on going to be completely out of diesel. And they said it's probably going to hit by Thanksgiving. They said it's probably going to hit by Thanksgiving, and they're not even talking about it. And he's already just said that they're not doing anything for any new drilling. So this is the way to force everybody onto electric vehicles. This is going to be devastating. Now listen to this one. This is on the Communist News Network. The Communist News Network. Listen to what she says about Biden's statement saying that he's going to do nothing. Nothing?
He said he just wouldn't do anything different because, of course, our achievements take a long time to be recognized. That's insulting people.
You hear that? He said that's insulting people. She said it's insulting people. One more time. It's a short clip.
He said he just wouldn't do anything different because, of course, our achievements take a long time to be recognized. That's insulting people. And I don't think that was a good answer from the president.
Yeah, so
you don't think it was a good answer. No one thinks it was a good answer. And you know what? These people that are in the mainstream media, they act like they're so intelligent that they have everything down, that they know what's best for all of us, and they tell us to trust them, right? And they even said, don't even look at social media for anything. Come to us. Right? They say that. Come to us for all of your information. Don't trust anybody but us. And this was the Communist News Network saying this. It's pretty ridiculous. It really is. He literally said that he's not going to change anything. They're going to destroy this country. That is the plan. They're going to attempt to destroy the country. And of course, Joe Biden says that it's still looking like, as of right now, the last time I looked, it still looks like that the Republican Party is going to get control over the House. It still looks that way. And there's still a possible chance that the Republican Party will take control of the Senate. It's still looking that way. It should have been by large numbers. It shouldn't even be this close. It really shouldn't be. There's no excuse for it. Unless there's people out there that truly want high gas prices and high food prices, don't care about, keeping the lights on for their children, that loves the open border with the fentanyl coming in, that wants they want their kids sexualized. There's people out there that like all of that. There's people that want more crime. Look at the state of New York. It's like they want the crime. They want all of this wokeism. Everything that's demonic, people are supporting it. They want it. And a lot of people know that they're supporting it, and they just, I don't support all that, but I just don't like the Republicans because I was told to hate them. So I'm going to vote Democrat, even though the Democrats are doing everything that's terrible. Well, Joe Brandon, I'm taking it that he was at the DNC, and he's actually talking to people, and he's telling them that he's wanting and willing to work with Republicans when he turns around and says that he's going to stop Republicans veto anything that they do.
Look, I also think the American people sent a message that they want us to work together. I've always done that. I know I got criticized for it when I ran. I said I was running for 3 reasons. 1, to restore the soul of America. 2, to build this economy from the middle out and the bottom up. And thirdly, to unite the country. Regardless of what the final tally showed, I'm prepared to work with Republicans. But the American people have made it clear. They expect Republicans to work with me as well. And folks, I'll always be open to any good ideas, whether it's Democrat or Republican, to move the country forward. But I've also made it really clear that if Republicans try to repeal the power we just gave Medicare to reduce prescription drug costs, I will veto it and let it happen. If Republicans try to walk away from the historic commitment we just made to deal with the climate crisis, I will not let that happen. If Republicans try to cut Social Security and Medicare, I will not let that happen.
Okay, so first of all, he keeps talking about like Social Security and Medicare. The Republicans are not trying to get rid of it. They never have said that they want to get rid of it. When it comes to the Social Security, you don't know anything that took place. The Republicans are saying that there needs to be checks and balances because see, the Democrats have figured out they can dip their hands into Social Security, and it's not even their money. It's not their money. It's your money. You paid into Social Security. They shouldn't even be able to touch it, but they've been spending your money on wokeism. And they want to continue to be able to dip their hand into Social Security money because they say, oh, well, people just going to keep paying it in. They're greedy. They keep touching it. The Republicans only want checks and balance. Even the fact checkers. Even the fact checkers come out and said that's not true what Joe Brandon is saying. The Republicans are not talking about doing away with it. This is just another fear tactic that they normally use.
And if they try to cut taxes for the super wealthy again, the biggest corporations like they did in the last administration, I will not let that happen either.
Okay,
Look.
So again, wait a minute. So listen, he said he won't let that happen again. So you know what? When President Trump did the tax break. Remember that when President Trump did the tax break, and they keep saying it's for the wealthy, but it was for the entire country. The entire country benefited from that. And as a result of the tax break, guess what happened? Multiple people started getting hired for work because these companies got the tax break. So what they did, they invested back into the company and they hired more people. See, Joe Brandon and the Democrats, they're not looking for American people to actually go back to work. They're looking for you to be out of work. They're looking for you to depend on the government. That's what all of this is about. And of course, the socialist Democrats, they don't know any better. They just think that everybody should be able to sit at home on the couch and do nothing every day and get $7,200 a month for doing nothing.
Look. Now, as we look at tax cuts, we should be looking at tax cuts for working people and middle-class people. And I'm going to keep the commitment we both made that no one making less than $400,000 a year will ever see a penny in their taxes go up as long as we are in power. And folks,
and actually, that's a lie too, because it's already came out that he's going to go. Remember the armed IRS agents? They're going to go after people that's making less than $20,000 a year too. That's been fact checked on him as well. But he keeps regurgitating it because they have people believing the nonsense.
And I love the Republicans talking about big spending Democrats. We're going to keep working to keep the federal deficit low. We cut the deficit in 2 years by $1,700 billion, more than ever in all of American history. Oh, I don't want to hear from Republicans calling Democrats big spenders. We're the ones bringing down the deficit. They're the ones that blew it up over 4 years.
You hear this? You hear this? Of course it went up, but you know what it is right now? It's at $31 trillion. And they've been pouring money out of America to other countries like no tomorrow, Ukraine being one of them. They did this. And the spending is out of control. Again, he's straight up lying, and people don't even care.
And one more thing. If Republicans pass, and I don't think they can do it now, a national ban abortion, I will veto it. It's simple. We need to codify Roe v. Wade as the law of the land. And look, let me close with this. You've all heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. I, honest to God, have never been more optimistic about America's future than today. And I'm optimistic for a number of reasons. We're better situated than any nation in the world.
This dude, they have this globalist agenda, and that's their whole point. That's the whole idea. They have the globalist agenda, and they want to tear down the country. They want to tear down the country. But you know what? In the midst of all of this stupidity with Joe Biden and the Democrats, there's actually good news. There is actually good news. I think the second time in American history, if I'm not mistaken, it's the second time. I think the first time was 1964 or something like that. I can't remember the exact date. Maybe 1984. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. But it's not the first time. But this time in this midterm election, the entire state of Florida turned red. No Democrats won in the entire state of Florida. None. Right? At least on the federal level, or at the local state level. Maybe some leftist teachers, but I don't even know as far as that. But with the way with the reporting is that the entire state went completely red. All the Republicans won. Everything that they're really paying attention to on the national level. And now, not only that, there's other places in the country where they actually went red. And the liberal mainstream media, they're most definitely not going to talk about it. They don't want people to know that, hey, you know what, this would have happened. But the Democrats, they have a certain thing in place to prevent the Republicans from ever getting a full red wave across the nation. There was small ones here and there. Right. But they figured out how to do that. And they figured it out how to do it right before the Kung flu. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So when that came about, they said, oh, look what we can do. And they've been doing it. Why do you think Arizona's so tied up? But listen to this about New York.
So there was definitely a red wave, as Chad is talking about, in one of the places where you would at least expect to find it, in deep blue New York. So what's going on here? Look at this. 4 House districts flipped red. 2 of them on Long Island. Republican George Santos won his district, where President Biden had won by 10 points just 2 years ago. Anthony D'Esposito flipped his seat that was held by Democrats since 1997.
Since 1997. Look at that. I mean, all red. Look at that. And that's New York. That's New York. Right? Now, I have my reservations on, the rest of New York. I have my reservations on it. I'm pretty sure you do as well. But again, the Democrats, they have stuff in place for certain things. I'm just going to leave it at that. You can read into it as what you want to. But that is really good news. That is really good news. So right now, again, the Democrats are just highly upset about Georgia. They're highly upset about Florida. They're highly upset about Texas. They're highly upset about Arkansas, right? They're highly upset about some of these other places. And I'm really looking forward to Herschel Walker winning. I really am, just like I am for Kerry Lake. But there's some interesting things that's going on. Really interesting things. But you remember how I was telling you, Joe Biden, how he was I was floating the idea, like they're floating the idea of him running against Fetterman, and he says stuff like this. You can't make it up, right?
Biden's being an extremist.
I don't even know, what was he trying to say? What was he trying to say? Is it just me? And I played this one last night, and I'm just like listening to him. So this is what they want to put on the debate stage in the primary for the Democrats. Him and Fetterman.
Biden's being Biden's being an extremist.
I mean, there's something really wrong here.
Biden's being Biden's being an extremist.
I mean, dude. And the Democrats, they just look the other way. Act like it's not even happening, like it's not even an issue. I'm telling you, that's why they're floating the idea of Fetterman right now being president. They're actually floating the idea, thinking that Fetterman can do it. Now, most of them, that still have a couple brain cells left, they're like, yeah, you know what? That's probably not a good idea. That's probably not a good idea. But it's the whole point that they're even talking about running somebody against Joe Biden. They're actually talking about it. And they're probably going to get Gruesome Newsom from California to do it. So just imagine doing the primary. Are they going to have a debate? Are they going to do like Hobbs did in Arizona? Are they going to do like Fetterman did, right? Where they just pushed off either not having or just having one, not having one, or just having one, because Fetterman had one with Oz, right? But Hobbs, she zero debates, hiding from Carrie Lake because she's terrified of Carrie Lake. I mean, she's scared of her. Scared to get on the debate stage. I mean, just terrified. So when they put someone on stage with Joe Biden doing the primary, they have to do it, right? They have to do it. So does that mean that if they get Gruesome Newsom and Joe Biden on the same stage together, does that mean, because, they're going to have to debate. So that means Gruesome Newsom will have to talk about all of the failed policies of Joe Biden. And if that's the case, then Joe Biden would have to talk about all the failed policies of Gruesome Newsom. I mean, how does that work? I've never known for them to primary, someone in there. The Republicans didn't do President Trump. Remember? They didn't do that. They didn't do Bush. Remember? They didn't do that. They didn't do Bush Sr. Remember? They didn't primary them. But they're going to primary Joe Biden. Is this the first time in American history that a party is going to primary themselves? It's really interesting. So while we're all sitting there talking about the election here in the United States of America, China is still at it. China is actually, there's articles out there right now that's talking about how China is gearing up for war. The leader in China told their military to get ready. And everybody's going, okay, what does that mean? And Joe Brandon is supposed to be making a trip over there. And me personally, I think Joe Biden is going over there to ask the president in China, how much oil do we need to give you from our national reserves? We're almost depleted, so how much more do you need? I think that's probably what he's going over. He's probably going over to grovel, to get on his knees before him, bow down to him and say, how long do I need to stay down here, to the president of China. Right? Because it's Beijing, Biden, China, Joe. He's getting ready to go over there. But anyways, the press secretary was asked a question about Joe Biden taking a visit over there.
What do you think are some misconceptions, misperceptions, misunderstandings that China has about the U.S.?
So look, I don't want to get into deep specifics. I think you guys have followed the relationship between the two leaders over the last 20 plus months. Look, I think what's important to note is that, and you've heard us say this too, the president really think it's important to have that face-to-face leader-to-leader conversation, and the president and Xi has spoken, I think, about 5 times, which we've all read out to you when they have spoken, and this will be the first time they'll be in person. And we believe, the president believes it is critical to build a floor for the relationship and ensure that there are rules of the road that bound our competition.
So does this mean Joe Biden is going over to China and sucking up and kissing up to him, go over there to kiss the ring? Because anytime when President Trump met with Vladimir Putin, Russia, they kept saying, President Trump is kissing the ring. Y'all remember they constantly said that? At least I heard him say it over and over. President Trump is kissing the ring, kissing the ring. There's a reason why they call him China Joe, Beijing Biden. So is he going over there to kiss the ring? I mean, if anyone's actually going to kiss the ring, it would be Joe Biden kissing the ring of the president in China. if anybody's actually going to kiss the ring. And of course, she always go, I don't have anything.
But building a floor is not just about that. It's also ensuring that we also are working together on areas where our interests align, especially transnational challenges that affect the international community.
You hear that? So she really doesn't have anything. She really doesn't have anything. And they don't want to talk about how the president of China right now just told his military to prepare for war. What does that mean? What does that mean? Right? And if they're telling that, hey, prepare for war, of course, they're not going to tell the enemy, get ready, here we come. Right? I think we all kind of know where they're going to go. And the question is, what is America going to do when it happens? Because remember, Nancy Pelosi took a trip over there. And they already said if Nancy Pelosi takes a trip over there, then they will probably regret it. But, time has gone by. People forgot about Nancy Pelosi even going over there. Bet you people are going to say, I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. And this was right before, they'd made that chip deal. And Nancy Pelosi was over there. So I guess she went over there to give them comfort, saying, hey, we're going to do the chip deal here in America, but we're not going to stop buying computer chips from you here. Right? She went over there to, to confirm the deal. It's really, really something. Okay, so let me change it up subject here. And let's talk about Georgia. Oh, Georgia. The devil didn't win in Georgia. I put a video out this morning, and I was talking about how, and it just made me think about it. I'm talking about, this was in Florida, and the lady name was, I think her name was Dobbs. I can't, for some reason, her name keeps slipping my mind. But anyway, she lost against Marco Rubio, and she's a nasty woman, and I can't remember. I don't even care to remember her name. Right? She's not going to win. She's not there. Marco Rubio already won, so there's no need for me to remember who she is. But she's a nasty woman, and talking about another, and I only brought it up, and people on there saying, "Oh, how dare you call her a nasty woman?" Because she was black, just like this nasty woman. This was another nasty woman out of Georgia. And she has the nerve, the audacity to try to sit there and tell people how they should do with their children when she don't even have any children herself. She don't have any kids. She's, to my understanding, she's not even married. I'm not sure who would do it, but, she's not even married. Not married and no kids. And she's trying to tell all of us how we should be with our families and our children. This is another nasty woman. Well, apparently Fox News went around and they were asking different people about what they thought about the election in Georgia. This is really interesting here because, of course, they find, some black women, and I think one might be light-skinned. But listen what the women say about what happened with Stacey Abrams.
I'm a little devastated in how early they called it. It's just a really interesting time knowing that this election cycle was during the time that the election law was passed, SB 202, the voter suppression law.
It means we're going backwards instead of forward. It means women don't have the rights they had a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago.
When you're in the space and you see that the person who you're running against, that a state could elect someone again after all of the craziness that we went through as a state.
What's the craziness that you went through as a state? What is that craziness? What is that craziness? Are you talking about the inflation? Are you talking about the high gas prices? Are you talking about the food crisis? Are you talking about the fentanyl showing up in Georgia? Because it's showing up in Georgia too. It's showing up everywhere. Are you talking about that? Because if you're actually talking about that, or even sexualizing the kids, if you're talking about that, that's all because of the demon crap.
Fire? It's like, why would you want to continue to keep going and doing this over and over and over again?
I just really feel the words from tonight. I mean, Stacey is special, and I think there's just something so big in store for her.
This is sad for Georgia.
It says sad for Georgia. No, it's actually not. Can y'all imagine Stacey Abrams? Whew. Whew. I mean, I don't even live in Georgia, and I'm happy that she did not win, right? And I'm here in the state of Texas, and it would have been just as bad if Beto Francis O'Rourke, the fake Mexican, would have won here. It would have been the same thing here. I mean, woo, we dodged that one, and they really wanted to make a difference. I can't understand how these people living in America want to tear down the country that they live in. It doesn't make any sense. Please help me make it make sense. Somebody tell me how it makes sense. I mean, somebody please tell me, because I don't understand. These are the same people that are willing to burn the American flag, and they don't burn it because they talk about free speech. They burn it because they said the American flag represents oppression. What? That American flag represents the freedom that these stupid people have. It really does. It represents the freedom that these stupid people have. And they said, well, it represents oppression. We need to burn it. These people, they want to destroy our country. And the interesting thing is everybody knows it. Why do you know it? Because they demonstrated it. And another example of them wanting to destroy the company, and now they're talking about some food products, the prices are starting to come down. They said like on chicken, chicken kind of leveled off a little bit. And I'm like, I'm going to the store and I haven't seen it. Maybe you have. Leave me a comment and say, Will, yeah, of course, the food has gone down. You don't know, Will. Where I live, the price of food has come down a lot. You don't know what you're talking about. Leave me a comment. Tell me. Take some pictures. Put the picture in there too. You can put a picture in there, especially if you're on Facebook. You can put the picture in there. See, Will, you know what you're talking about. The price of food has come down. The price of eggs, milk, all this come down. Well, let me know where it is so I can come shop there too. Because every time I go to the grocery store, I get sick every time I go there. I'm like, it's still high. And not only that, the price of, if you want to rent an apartment, the cost of living is still high. And the Biden regime, Biden already said that he's not going to do anything to take us off this course. And someone was asking the press secretary, well, what is the Biden administration going to do about it, right? Just kind of listen to what she says about the price of rent and everything going up.
Just on the CPI statement this morning from the president, most of the increase that we saw in inflation last month was due to rising costs for shelter. President Biden's statement didn't mention that. What is the administration doing to contain the rampant run-up in rents right now?
Of shelter specifically? So I don't have anything right now to share with you on that specific piece of the data.
She doesn't have anything to share with you. How are the price of everything going up? The price of rent, the price of mortgage, it's like people wanting to buy homes right now, first-time home buyers, is like completely out of reach. They're trying to force everyone to grow up like Fetterman did until he's 50, until you're 50. How is that even possible? How do you not have anything for the people asking the question? And she's like that all the time. Let me ask y'all, do y'all think I could do a better job as press secretary? I mean, really, I'm asking a legit question here. Not that I ever would be the press secretary, not that I even care to be, but do you think I could do a better job at press secretary? And I have a lot of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I do. I make a lot. See, I own up to it, right? I make a mistake. Yep, I made a mistake. I can think of many times I made mistakes in the past. Many. And some people know my mistakes, okay? Yeah, I make mistakes, but I could do a lot better job than Karine Jean-Pierre. 100%. Now, listen to what they say here on Fox News about what Karine Jean-Pierre has no data on. She has nothing for you. But they do on Fox News. Why is that?
But look at where you have shelter and rent. Rent is continuing to skyrocket. That's not showing any signs of abatement. Some areas of food are also actually worse than last year. So like when you look at, for example, gasoline up 17.5%, energy overall up 17% in the month of October. That was a very bad number. Look within food, a dozen eggs up 43%.
Wow.
Year over year. So yes, things are,
chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah, the chickens have come home to roost. Look at that. Look at that. It's all up. And Karine Jean-Pierre, she doesn't have this information. Does she? So I saw someone put a comment on YouTube. I just happened to look on there and said, Will, you can most definitely do a better job than Karine Jean-Pierre or even Jen Psaki. But you're not as good as Kellyanne Conway or Kelly McEnany. And I agree. I completely agree. Kelly McEnany, she was phenomenal. She was excellent. And you see, that's what I expect to see as a press secretary. Someone like that, sharp, right to point, right on the details. And she had her notes as well, but she knew what she was talking about. And she was ready for these questions. If it was hot topics like the recession, the economy, food prices, stuff that's affecting everybody every day, she was right on top of it. Karine Jean-Pierre, I don't think they're doing it. You know what? She just goes out there. She has their woke agenda, and that's the only thing that she has in her notes. She has a woke agenda, and every now and then, when it becomes something that's really, really, really right out there, then she talks about it, right? Then she'll have something to say about it. But other than that, she'll have nothing. 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 Absolutely nothing. All right. So, hey, I want to thank everyone for being on here with me tonight. If you haven't already, please, I can see right now there's 134 people on YouTube. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Can y'all smash that like button for me? Can y'all smash it for me? Smashing the like button on YouTube helps get past the algorithms. It really helps because they say, okay, they like it. It doesn't even show that you liked it, right? It doesn't show that you liked it, except for, maybe Google will know, but Google already knows, or YouTube already knows that you're watching. They already know that you're watching. Can you hit the like button? Please hit the like button for me. Help me get past it. It's at 85 likes now. Can we get up to 100 at least? Can we get up to 100? Please, please. Let me look over here on Facebook. Facebook has been hitting me hard here. Facebook has hit me real hard. So we got 121 likes on Facebook. I actually talked to somebody and they said they have contact with somebody on the inside of Facebook, and they were saying that after the midterm election that Facebook was going to stop all with the censorship, and they're going to kind of let it open a little bit. I've actually seen the opposite of that. They've actually hit my page even harder, and it was like, what's the deal? What's going on? They've even hit it harder. I mean, hard. But I guess it's to be expected, especially right now where the Senate and the House is still kind of like up in limbo. They don't want people to hear the truth. They're afraid of Will Johnson sharing something that you may see. And of course, we're live on Rumble as well, but Rumble doesn't show me how many people hit the share button. That would be pretty cool if that can be something they can put in their update. That'd be pretty cool. But there's 111 people watching on Rumble right now. So I want to thank everybody for being there. You can share it on Rumble. There is a share button, so I greatly appreciate it, everyone hitting on there. And let me see. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat. And Maya, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, thank you, Kevin. Kevin gave me a thumbs up. Yes, and a hammer. It's not a Nancy Pelosi hammer. It's not a Pelosi hammer. But thank you. Wow, 108 likes on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because it helps out with the algorithms. It really does. It really does. So thank you, everybody. Been an honor and a pleasure to come on and talk to you. Reality.